Being the last video of the season, I think it'd be very apropos to take a few parting shots. We're going to start off by reviewing what we went over this past season. What did we learn? Well, in between seasons, we discovered how one particular gun control propagandist got a little befuddled when its doctored polls, or the doctored polls that it relies upon to try to somehow reimagine reality, didn't quite line up with reality. And they grudgingly admitted that gun rights folk know more about gun issues than gun control folk do. Then we saw how they rely on really shoddy data to support really poor talking points. Our numbers are better than their numbers. Throughout history, arms ownership has been the mark of free men. Gun control exploits gullible children, and we can play the what-if game too. I look pretty good in a suit jacket. Gun issues have a funny way of making certain professors forget the researching skills. An AR-15 is not really the ballistic terror that our lesser informed counterparts really want to make it out to be. But the fact that they are used so rarely in crime really kind of obviates the issue. Gun control freaks need to stop being such dumbasses. Gun rights advocates need to lay off being such smartasses. Concealed carry in America is safer than gun control in most of Europe. You still can't go wrong with Black Rifle Coffee. Not every gun owner falls for every fad. Gun owners are actually the civilized ones. Crimes would not go away even if the guns did. Differences in training requirements have not been a real reciprocity issue. Gun control freaks think that the NRA was bought by the Russians for $2,500. Gun prohibitionists are state fetishists. And I discovered that I was a hoplophobe agnotologist, and many of you guys who study how gun control gets it wrong are too. Gun control suffers from ADHD, and if most gun control types really believed that rights were dependent upon needs, then most of them would have no standing getting involved in gun issues at all. Gun ownership is independent of militia service, and it is quite possible for an armed citizenry to stand up against tyranny. In fact, it has been demonstrated in recent memory. Since we started the season off with school shootings, it kind of makes sense that we would wrap up the season with a couple as well. But these examples really show what is important to gun control advocacy and what's not. Back in March, hysteria was mounting about how unsafe our schools are. This past week, we saw Sturm und Drang start to be built up only to wind up with meh. When it was first rumored that an AR-15 might have been used at Santa Fe, gun control advocates were all over it like flies on excrement. Ban the AR-15s! And then it was discovered that no AR-15s were used in the shooting at all. In fact, no high-capacity weapons were used either. Just a .38 revolver and a hunting shotgun. And all of a sudden, interest pretty much dropped off. Even want to get riled up by Parkland? Not one more, eh? Enough, right? No march for our lives for Santa Fe, huh? Then, in Illinois, an SRO terminated a school shooting in progress. A good guy with a gun saved the day. A gun saved lives that day, and the hoplophobes did not cover it. Which proves again, at least to me, that gun control esteems dead people more than it does live ones. And ironically enough, it's gun control and their allies in media and politics that promotes a culture of death and profits the most from it. Not the NRA, not gun manufacturers, and not gun owners. We at least own our guns in the interests of life, defending it by protecting those we love with these tools. defending the liberties of those we love by giving pause to those who would threaten those liberties, and sustaining those that we love by bringing back from the field nourishment through these same instruments. That is what gun culture is all about. And thus we wrap up season 2. I think the quality overall has improved. I've definitely seen it in the process of shooting and editing. I've seen it in the participation. I've seen it in a increase about 125 to 150% of viewership from the beginning of the season. So I want to thank you guys for adding to the popularity of this channel right here, because you're the ones that help make it possible. Now, I'm going to be taking a month between season 2 and season 3 unless something really big happens. And in the meantime, I'm going to be regathering, getting some more ideas, working on my editing technique, getting a couple of extra tools, and being an RSO for a youth camp. So you know I'm going to be talking about that. In the meantime, I'm going to be pinning a post to the page asking what it is that you guys want to see talked about, because what you guys think is important to me. So with that, shoot straight, watch your 6, and remember, truth is never gun control's ally.